Welcome to the review of Star Command. Star Command is a science fiction role-playing game created by Strategic Simulations and released in 1988. Here is the main menu to the game, where we're going to start a completely new party. The game can either run in CGA mode or EGA, which uses the Enhanced Graphics Adapter. The game begins in the starport named Luna. The first thing to do is to create squad members. The squad members have all types of attributes, like you usually do in role-playing games: strength, speed, accuracy, etc. There's also various class types. Here, a soldier is kind of the equivalent of a fighter in a role-playing game. You'll notice next you choose your skills. Sometimes you get promotions, sometimes you fail to complete your year of training. You get 8 years of training per character. Once that is complete, you name the character. There are 4 main classes in the game: Pilot, Soldier, Marine, which we're training right now, and Esper. Marine has the ability called Scout and Recon. Espers have an ability called Esper, which is a psychic ability, but you can only have one Esper in your party. After saving the game, you may want to inspect your party and see what you have specifically. You can see it shows hit bonuses, defense bonuses, how much weight you can carry. It shows the level of your skills, what kind of armor, sighting hardware, weapons, etc. After creating your party, you'll want to buy a spaceship. There's different classes. There's escorts, corvettes, frigates, and of course the starting ship that you'll have to start with is a scout ship. Next you christen your ship, and then you hear this silly little tune in the background. There's not many places in the game that utilize sound, and thank goodness, because this sound is pretty awful. Next you can buy equipment for your ship. You can buy guns, ammo, shields, defense hardware, etc. The first thing you'll want to buy are some guns for your ship. The way it works is the ship has 6 different positions, each armed by one of the party members. You'll probably want to start off with something cheap like hypervelocity rockets. Defense hardware increases your chance of dodging, and armor is basically like hit points for your ship. You will definitely want to be purchasing armor. The next step is to buy personal equipment for your characters. Often you'll want to start off with some type of ranged weapon. There's all types of categories too. There's main categories of light weapons, heavy, chemical, and explosive, but then there's subcategories inside of those. Each type of weapon has certain advantages and disadvantages. There is one weapon, however, that just totally shines over all the rest, and it makes the game kind of too easy using it. I wish that they didn't have it. But we're going to purchase a needler as our first weapon, which obviously shoots out little needles at the enemy. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that. You'll also want to buy some armor. And there's also miscellaneous type things like repair kits, motion detectors, etc. Once you purchase all of your equipment, fuel up your ship, and then obtain your first mission. Here we're told that we should go to explore some planets. So once you leave the starport, you can move around on the what I call map, and it represents your spaceship by this big block. The graphics aren't the best. I've seen much better in 1988, but the gameplay is awesome. Here we zoom in on this planet, and we're looking for some goodies we can bring back to sell. You do this option by doing scientific investigation. You can also do cargo pickups if there's life on the planet, but here you can see there isn't. This planet does have life, high tech. You can see that they want to sell us silver. There's a trading and bartering system in this game. Sometimes you'll spot some enemy beings, and then you can choose to fight them or run. We surprised them because we found them first. And the way it works is you can have up to 4 enemy groups that you can be fighting on the map at one time. And this is quite a bit. The middle top part of the screen shows the weapons that they have. You can see most of them look like some type of rifle, and some of the others, those 3 yellow ones, are a little bit strange. Those are flamethrowers. Here you choose who you want to attack, and your party is represented by the little person looking icon on the map. There's terrain, so there's the blue lakes there, which are impossible to go across. And the rest of the map you can walk across. We just used an Esper ability called Mind Shock. One of my favorite features in this game is how the weapons fire. The cool sound effects and graphics of the particles, they're specific to the type of weapon you're using. That's a rocket launcher. They're shooting lasers at us. And you see they just hit us. Sometimes your armor absorbs some of the damage, sometimes it doesn't. Here we're using a submachine gun. Here's our needler. And there we just got hit by a rocket launcher flame. You can tell it hits a big area. Here's our rocket launcher. Shows how much damage that can do. If the hit points of a character reaches 0, the character dies, and there is no way to resurrect them. You can flee by walking off the map. Once you do some fighting, you can go back and rest in the sick bay and get your hit points back. And you can also go to the dry dock to repair equipment damaged during a battle. The game even has the realistic ability to sell any type of equipment or cargo except for armor, because armor is custom made for your body. Once you complete a mission, you're awarded credits. There is no real experience in this game. You basically level up based on completing a mission, or you can pay 200,000 credits. Sometimes you're going to get in a fight with ships in a space view. You can try to communicate with them sometimes and either demand or plead for things, and sometimes it works, but it usually doesn't. Here we're firing our hypervelocity rocket at the ship. You'll notice that little pink shield that appears. That happens when their shields absorb the damage. There are 2 types of weapons for the ships. Laser-based, which uses the ship's fuel, and rocket-based, which uses ammo. If there's only one ship left and you move close enough, you can actually board it. Then you can attack the enemies on side and bring the ship back with you and get credits for it. Some enemies only have melee attacks, such as these mutants. Sometimes in a battle you want to jump to hyperspace, which is basically fleeing. And what happens is it uses up 40 or 50 of your fuel. Here we actually ran out of fuel, and sometimes you're rescued. There's also hidden bases and other types of remote places. Here we found this space station. If you find a place like this and go inside, you kind of see a bird's eye view from the top with very, very poor graphics. Graphics are not a strong point in this game, but the role-playing aspect and the statistics is outstanding. Here we go into a room where you can choose different types of things to do with this computer. The designers definitely have a sense of humor. Here you can see they're talking about beer and ale and all types of things. Sometimes when you enter a room, there'll be enemies, and other times you can find treasure, such as this 25,000 credits. As mentioned earlier, there is no real experience in the game. You level up based on completing missions. You get to choose which attribute you want to increase, and as well as a skill. Here our pilot increases his pilot ability. So in closing, I'd like to say that this is definitely a game, if you're a role-playing or a science fiction fan, that you would want to try. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.